Yusai. Welcome to Let's Talk. And today is Monday. I hope everybody had a good Easter weekend. And today my guest is none other than a beautiful, gorgeous Kate Bock. But before we get into our talk today, I want to make a little announcement that and thank you for every single guest has come on and support Let's Talk. Let's Talk is donating 500 masks for each guest to have come on the show. And we're giving an opportunity for the guests also to donate as well. And I am so grateful and thankful that Kate have already donated $500, which procures us be able to get 1,450 masks to the first responders. So I'm super excited. I get so nervous talking about this because it's so emotional for me. And this project came from watching everybody else doing so much trying to help. And just having this show, I want to make sure that it has a purpose. And I'm working with MJ Day to make sure these masks are also being delivered to the first responders in New York. And on the West Coast, we are meeting with the EMTs as well as firefighters. And a special shout out to Mila Jovovich, who have donated $10,000 this week, allow us to procure 30,000 masks. And they're already in transit to the East Coast. So thank you guys very much. And thank you, Kate, so very much. I have chills and I can almost start crying because of it. So, all right. So
it's true that so many people want to help and they're just not sure how. So this is an amazing place that we know we're getting the masks. They're going straight to people that we know that need them. It's clear, it's easy. It's like a Venmo payment. So it's just very straightforward and easy.
And for those people who would like to help, and here's our website, you can come and look at it. And also for people asking, how is this possible? How are you getting a mask? There's a page for disclosure for you to read. We are not buying masks and storing them and then shipping them out. We're procuring them as the fund comes in because we have relationship in Asia with the manufacturers. So we are actually shipping from the factory directly to New York or to the West Coast of the people of first responders. So it's been a work in progress, and thank you for MJ in order to make this happen. As you know, MJ's husband's a doctor, and with that help, it really, really is getting to the people right away without red tape. So thank you. With that, let's start our talk today, Kate. So I'm so excited to have you here. Tell everybody where you at first.
I am in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm at the house with my boyfriend and my dog, and we are indoors or in our backyard, and that is basically it.
I love the fact that your set is wine and my set is gorgeous you.
I know, I'm like, I forgot about that picture with the short hair. It was a wig. He did not cut my hair on set. No. But that was such a good day.
We're going to talk.
I knew we were doing a talk show, so I was like, what is a good background?
That's a perfect background. Well, thank you so much. Well, today, everyone, Kay and I are going to talk about 3 things. And that's body, mind, spirit. And that is not just because we're going through this pandemic, but because this is something that I've been watching Kate for about, we know each other about 8 years. I think 8 years. Yeah. And I've been watching you grown as a model and grown as a person. And these 3 things seem to embody you on a daily basis. And through the last couple months, I've watched you populate your Instagram in such a, I like to say, responsible way. Because Instagram could just become... it's something you toss and walk away, but because you have become such an influential person in our industry and branded to SI and also all these amazing brands that you work with, Banana Republic with your boyfriend, I saw that. And to me, I want to say congratulations to embody your brand and really embrace it. So I want to go through that process, kind of share with everybody. So let's start out by just inspire people, like, how did you get into modeling?
Ooh. My story from the beginning. I grew up in West Vancouver, Canada, and I was always very tall and gangly. And I was a swimmer at the pool when I was 12, and my mother agent, a child spilled something, and I went to help, and it happened to be my mother agent's best friend. So she introduced me. I had braces. My Polaroids from day one are hilarious. I was in this really awkward phase. But then the next week I started working. So I was kind of modeling since I was 12, and my mom would come with me on set, and I would travel with her, and then when I finished high school, I moved to Europe and started traveling, and
wow.
Here we are.
Honestly, I didn't know you started modeling at such a young age. I find that when I speak to other models, the awkward, lanky, like a little bit giraffe-like girls who are always picked on in school seem to be the one that really blossom into models. Was that experience the same for you?
I mean, I was like definitely in the back center of every photo in, your elementary school class. Like there was no guy that was even close to as tall as me. So that made a bit funny, awkward situation for those little elementary school dances or having crushes and stuff. Now I'm dating the tallest guy I could have found, so I'm all good.
Well, being at 12 years old, how were you able to start having that body, mind, spirit ability to get into modeling? Because I think at that age, for me, it was such an insecure age, where I remember my nose was so big, my lips was so huge. And one of these days, I'll share those pictures. I had to grow into my face. I definitely was incredibly awkward. How was that for you in the adolescence at 12 years old when somebody says, you can model and we want to take pictures of you?
Yeah, I remember just being so excited that someone thought that of me. Like I had never really considered it. It wasn't something I had like dreamed of my whole life. It was like, oh my God, someone thinks that I could do that. Like how cool. And then in the beginning, I always had my mouth closed because I was covering my braces. Or I remember my first time I went to shoot Abercrombie, like the first week, Abercrombie Kids, the first week that I started modeling. And I asked my mom before I went to the job, like, am I allowed to wear my contacts? Like, because I need them to see. Or like, are they going to be able to see them in the camera? Like, can they tell I'm wearing contacts? And she was like, no. So I was more just like, curious of this glamorous world than scared. I don't know. I was just excited about it. I thought it was so glamorous, and I watched America's Next Top Model and thought it was just like so cool, and now I got to like live this world that I'd seen on TV.
Isn't that funny that both of us that grew up watching Top Model and obviously I eventually end up being on the show, and we kind of look at that show as the Bible, what is approachable to fashion. And I actually invited Tyra Banks to come and join me on Let's Talk to give a little bit of a background, so cool. What inspired her to do the show, the impact that she actually had on so many of us. Now, obviously, once we got into the industry, we realized that a lot of the Top Model show is amplified, right? There's a lot of reality to it, but it is a competition show. But it did inspire us to know that it is possible to see that on TV and we are able to achieve it, in one way or the other.
But I think there are aspects of it, like as much as it's reality TV and they need there to be drama for it to work, in real life, living in a model apartment, I'm not going to say there's no drama. Like there's a lot of things that happen. Like I remember when I first moved to Paris, I lived in this apartment. I ended up with great roommates. Like I got very lucky. I lived with a girl from Toronto, a girl from Seattle, or two from Seattle and one from Toronto. So I felt very comfortable. There was another girl that was like this blonde, angelic looking girl, and she lived with three girls, and I guess they did not like each other. And so the three girls like banded against her and put Nair in her shampoo bottle. So when the blonde girl was shampooing, her hair fell out.
No.
She had this like big bald spot in the back of her head.
This is like, real drama. This is Top Model real drama.
I know. Like this like is TV drama, but it was just the real life of our model apartment. It was crazy. And then like people stealing each other's clothes for castings, or like the funniest little things people would really, or like eating each other's food. It was a whole...
We can have a whole talk about how to survive in a model apartment for sure. Because I know it's very different for the boys who are like dorms and they just like, beer bombs and drinking. And the girls, I also think it's so much more competitive and seriously for girls. So at 12 years old, your mom was obviously super supportive of you, and that's amazing. And so through that 12 years old, when you became 18 years old, when you're on your own, what was that journey like for you? Was that something that you're like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted to do. It wasn't a fluke, and this is what I love?
I mean, so when I lived in Vancouver and I was doing jobs, my mom came with me. We went to like Santa Barbara, or actually a lot of things shot in Vancouver. So I was able to shoot commercials and stuff and kind of get used to being on set and having my parents with me. And then I finished high school and I moved to Paris. And I really, I had been scouted. So my mother agent hosted these meetings, I think once a month or once every few months. And model agents would come from all over the world, and you would like hope that one of them likes you and invites you to come.
Fingers crossed. There we go. I can see you again. So we're going to pick up the last question, which was when you're 12 years old to 18 years old, through that adolescent and growth, what was it like for you to realize that this is what I want to do?
Yeah. So I had done some jobs in Vancouver. I finished high school. I went to Paris. And I think I really went so excited and not entirely sure what I was getting myself into. Like, you just can't really know exactly what it's going to be like. And it was quite an adjustment going from, eating my mom's home-cooked meals and being fit because I played soccer in high school and I played volleyball and I was always active. And then suddenly I live in Paris and I have to, like, go to a gym or, like, figure out what that means, or I have to cook my own food. Like, I don't even know how to make... It was a very big life adjustment in that sense. And I mean, I'm going to date myself and it's going to sound funny now, but we didn't have phones with internet and we didn't have internet in our apartment. So we had like faxed schedules that we would get, and we had our Paris guidebooks, and you would have to like write, I'm taking like the train from north to south on the Pink Line. I'm getting off, I'm walking 3 blocks this way, and then I'm getting on the train again to go to my next casting, which is actually an amazing way to learn a city. So I know Paris very well, but it was a very big adjustment figuring out how to be an adult in a new foreign land with people I don't know.
And that's exactly my point. I think a lot of people think, people ask this to me all the time, right? I want to model. What does it take to get into modeling? And I always answer them with exactly what you said. What is the quality of a person that you are? Are you able to handle the pressure of modeling? People think modeling is one part of it, but the work, the work that you have to put into, and that's where the 3 things we're going to talk about, which is your body as a model, that you have to take care of your body because that is part of the component that you're selling, and your mind. How do you keep yourself clear with all these noise around you, because there are a lot of influences in modeling that sometimes are not the best, and how do you keep your spirit up? So let's go through that. Now, we know you have a body, like insane body, and we got to meet about 8 years ago, and I want to say 8 years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, we met in Switzerland for the very first time, and I don't know what your first impression of me was, but when you walked on set, I was giggling on the inside because you were the identification of a Barbie doll that I always wanted. You had the perfect hair. You were Farrah Fawcett for me from that point on for the 2.5 days that we got to spend together. And what was it like for you to meet me for the first time?
I remember you just having so much fun energy, and it was just such a like lively, we were like laughing actually in the pictures, so the smiles were genuine and we were actually just giggling, and it was so much fun. We were like dancing around, we were like, I just feel like the movements that you wanted, like a pointed finger, it was like because we were kind of like moving and dancing. See, there you go. Oh.
There it is. Oh, I'm so happy you remember that, because I'm such a photographer who care about everything from head to toe to your fingertips, and because to me the fingertip guides where your eyes see. So and MJ, for example, will always say, watch your claws, and that's something that we're both so obsessed with, and as a photographer, that's my thing, right? Always making sure, because I have a dancer background. Now I want to talk about this picture. I had to show everybody this picture because when we look at this picture, you're angelic and you look, the abs are insane. And we'll talk a little bit about your preparation for that. But however, what people don't realize that while we were shooting this picture, you guys, there were about 150 people around her. There were kids jumping over her from the rock on the side. There were people splashing.
And there were like kids on their dad's shoulders making sand castles.
They didn't care we were there, and they didn't care where the camera was. They would just sit right in front of my camera. So this moment when we capture, it truly is a magical moment, Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about how do you prepare for a shoot like that?
Well, I find one of the things that happens in our industry is that you don't always know exactly when you're going to shoot. Every year, I hope I'm going to get that call from Sports Illustrated, and any job, you hope that you're going to hear, but you don't necessarily hear until like a couple weeks before, because with Sports Illustrated, they've been very secretive and they don't want anyone to know who's shooting. So it's not like I get months of time to prepare ahead of time. So I kind of have to keep like a baseline that I'm pretty pleased with, because you sort of have to be ready to go on the fly and like fly to Switzerland and be able to shoot the next day and feel good about it. So I have found that I found a way that I can feel good, I can enjoy my life, I don't feel like I'm super restricted and I can't have fun, because I think every model or most models probably, if you started young, you've been through different phases of like, I can't eat anything that's, you know, got a carb in it because I don't want to gain weight, or, you know, I'm enjoying myself too much and now I don't feel good on a shoot. Like, you kind of have to find a balance of what works for you and your body and feels healthy. So I find now that I try to make meals that I really am excited about, and maybe do it in a little bit of a cleaner way or a lighter way, but I'm still eating fun things, still drink wine. I'm still enjoying myself.
Well, that's interesting because like you said, you have to be prepared whenever you travel, right? Whenever the phone calls.
Yeah.
And that's the same with photographers too, right? We need to have our gears ready and ready to go whenever the next phone call may be. But for you, you might go from a commercial job to a swimsuit job to an editorial job. So your body, everything about your body, your skin, your hair, this is something that you have to take care of on a conscious basis every single day, right? So what is that? What is that consciousness that you put into your body on a daily basis so that you can perform your work?
Yeah. So I've like definitely been one that's more into working out. So I also eat a little bit more because I'm working hard. I like to go to the gym. I like working out, whether it's like a way to meet up with a friend just to meet them and then do a workout together, or do something at home during this quarantine time. I've really found that working out is a way to keep my head level and feel like I'm doing something good for myself. So I like to work out. I work out for like an hour, maybe most days, maybe 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And then I also eat pretty clean. I'm going to say we don't really have bread in this house. I don't really have...
So you're not baking.
Noodles.
You're not baking.
I'm baking, but I'm trying to make like keto, dairy-free versions of things. I'm like experimenting and seeing what kind of treats I can make that I can enjoy and feel good about. I'm also allergic to dairy, so that like really eliminates a lot of things that are fun to eat.
Me too. Me too.
Right? Like, yeah, like people really find it hard to believe that I survive life without cheese, but here we are.
Well, we just recently went on another Sports Illustrated trip together. We reunited once again, and we were in Bali.
Oh my God, the best ever.
What a beautiful, amazing trip that Sports Illustrated has always taken us to these amazing destinations. Now, what I learned from this trip, not seeing you for about 8 years, is that you have grown so much that you have become an editor of yourself. You become more critical with how you perform, but in such an incredible positive way. And I have to say, a lot of models get a little picky about their picture. They want to see the monitor as I shoot because they're self-criticizing. And I got to see how you process. And I actually said this to MJ, I go, wow, now I get it. Because a lot of times I shoot these girls, I go, oh, they're beautiful, they're beautiful. But what do they bring to the table that's so unique? When I saw you, how meticulous you were editing, and you would look at the screen, you said, Yusai, I can do better than this. And it wasn't so much, I look ugly here. I don't like my body here.
No.
Share that process with people.
Higher. Let's do more.
No, but share that process with people. I think that's so empowering for young models and also working models.
Yeah. I found that it's a very good, like a learning tool to understand, because sometimes someone's saying like your chin up or jump like more tall than wide in space, or always bend your front knee, and you're like, why? And if I can see that what I'm doing, like how it translates, then I understand more, like really point your toe, like it feels exaggerated, it doesn't look exaggerated, or like, make sure your arm is all the way up, because if it's a little bit bent, it looks like not as good. So I think it's like perfecting your craft, like I just get so into trying to create like exactly the image that we're all trying to make together. Like I want to be part and I want to contribute and figure out what I can do to make it better.
Well, obviously you brought the body, the workout, the healthy living style, and it's there. And I think that's exactly what we're talking about, is that you have to have the mind to go with the body in order for both of them to come through. And we are the, I think for us in the creative field, we're the most insecure people in the world. We want the validation of, you look great. The picture looks great. I mean, how many times we look at each other and goes, is it good? I'm not sure. Yeah. Do you like it? Right. Do you like it? But ultimately at the end, I remember after 2.5 days shooting with you that you came up to me and says, can I sit down and edit? And I'm all, sure, I'll edit with you. And you actually said to me, no. I want some time and space to myself so I can take a look at what we've done today and then perhaps give you something different tomorrow. That is so impressive to me because I have to say there are lots of models who don't do that. And maybe they're afraid to do that. So I encourage girls, men, models as well, if you can develop a relationship with a photographer that
I think that's very important.
that's what it is,
You,
right?
like, get each other.
We trusted each other and because listen, to look at my raw film is looking at me naked. But on the same token, looking at your raw film is also looking at you naked. And that is so important. And that's when the body goes away, when mind comes in. You really have to look at it from a mind standpoint. And I remember after you had looked at the film, you came to me and you said, this is what I want to give you. And I didn't have to say a lot anymore because the evolution of Sports Illustrated has evolved since our Switzerland trip. Right back then, it was definitely more just about body, body, body. And now it really is body, mind, and spirit. And I'm so proud of being part of this brand because of that. And then we see that how it reflected through your everyday. So one thing that I think people need to realize is that when they look at your Instagram, which is how they connect with you, you are truly living your life. Truly. It's not just what you're putting out there for people to see, but that is your life on a daily basis, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I find for Sports Illustrated in particular, and because I know you and I know MJ and I feel comfortable, I also like going into those shoots, having created a mood board for myself. And I show, just so I know, like, I really want this, like, 90s sporty vibe. So I'm going to, like, be putting that out there. So I know that you, when you see me and you see that I'm, like, seeing if I can jump in this bathing suit because some of them, work and some of them don't, you're like, oh, maybe this is the jumping one. And then you see it from your creative angle and she sees it and we're all, like, getting it. Or if I'm looking through something, I'm going like, okay, I've done this kind of thing or this kind of thing, but we still like could do, spend some time on something kind of different over here. So I think creating mood boards for me for shoots, but also like for life is so inspiring. And I make them for, food or for home decor or for like my dream gym. I love mood boards so much. And I feel like that really gets your personality or what your aesthetic is and puts it into something that other people can see and understand.
And they're not really mood boards any longer. They become vision boards. They become vision boards that you then subconscious takes over and you begin to embody them. And that's where your mind starts to maximizing everything. And that's incredible. That kudos to you. That's a smart model because there are models who show up and just clock in and clock out. Like any job, right? There are people who clock in and clock out and there are people put in an extra effort, build relationship with people on set. And especially for you guys out there, for Sports Illustrated shoot in particular, it is a very intimate process. We do work fast, call times early. They're changing on the beach. We're shooting like 16 looks in one day. And that process, you have to trust each other. You have to trust that when the model is tired, I'm there to spiritually bring them up. If I'm down, the model is giving me the extra energy. And I think that's what people don't realize is photographer is not just taking pictures, right? You and I are doing a dance. We're dancing together and we have to pair up beautifully or else the dance cannot be synchronized. So thank you for sharing that because that is so important. So I want to talk about a little bit about, before we get into the mindset of things, that for me, interesting enough is that when I was introduced to you, there was a notion that she's beautiful, she's commercial, she makes money, but can she do editorial? And that was a conversation I had with your agent at the time. And I remember you was starving to do editorial. You wanted to show a different side of you. So MJ and I from Sports Illustrated at the time, Sports Illustrated editor-in-chief, we created a series called You Plus Me series, which I got to take the Sports Illustrated girls, models, and create them in an editorial way and let people see them in a complete different light. And these were some of the images from that series.
I loved this,
I don't know if it changed perception for other people, but in the industry, a single picture can make and break your career, at the same time can change perception of what you're able to do. So tell me a little bit, because we didn't get to speak after the shoot. I just remember you texting me and like, oh my God, I love these. Nobody ever seen me like this. And how was it after the shoot? How was the perception change for people? What's the mindset?
I mean, I think it's hard to break a mold in this industry. I think that, like, as much as it's amazing to be thought of like very doll or Barbie-like, which has always been what people say when they see me, but I think seeing a different side is so helpful just to get different jobs and have people understand you differently and see that, you know, you can tie her hair back and she can be a different thing, or you can give her different makeup and a different vibe. And it's very creative. And I hope this doesn't sound just like a silly thing, but being able to do different creative moods is so inspiring, and I love it. And it's like you get to feed off it. And it's almost like these mood boards that you make, you get to be something, you get to play a role and be someone totally who's not yourself for a day, and it's so much fun.
And I think it's because you're so beautiful and people just want to embody the beauty of you, and people are afraid to take your hair away. And for me, at the moment you show up, you said, you give me blank canvas. You're like, what do you want to do? And I go, you know what? I understand your signature hair. I get it. And I'm going to photograph it because I think it's gorgeous and absolutely stunning. But allow me to take that away so people can see every fingertips, what you can do. And also there's a perception of sexiness that I wanted people to see that you embody different than other girls. Everybody brings different kind of sexiness. And for me, it's you have this incredible elegance and grace. And sometimes can perceive that it's, oh, she's not sexy, or she's not approachable. She cannot be touched in a visual way. So I love this image. When I shot, I have chills looking at this image still. And I remember sending it to MJ. MJ's like, oh my God, this is a whole new level of Kate. I mean, you've done this sense. You've done plenty of this kind of photography sense. You've done Maxim cover. But this is right before all that had happened, right?
Yeah.
And of course, for me, it's your signature eye, the way you stare at the camera, the way you speak to the camera. I mean, I love this. And I would give a little nod to Heidi Klum-ish when she did the L cover with the bang. That's one of my favorite all-time commercial fashion photos. And this has all of that. And that's where the I think in our industry, when we talk about body, mind, and mind is not just your own personal mind, right? It's your responsibility in a way to change other people's mind, what you're capable to do. And the work that you're putting into it is bringing to the table for people to see and hopefully accept. So a little bit of that, have you find difficulties to break into certain sectors of the business that you really want to, that people just have yet to give you a chance?
I mean, I think super high fashion, but I also love what I do, and I find the jobs that I get to do are often jobs that you get to do on repeat, that you really get to know everyone, and you get to be part of this family or this crew that shoots all the time. So you really kind of get into a certain, like, a character aesthetic for that job, and that can be so much fun. And you get to travel all over the world with these clients you get to know well. Interestingly, now a lot of brands want you to shoot things at home or want you to shoot for Instagram, and that's like a whole different...
I'm not going to have a job after this, am I?
It's
I'm not gonna be a photographer after this.
We can shoot through FaceTime or something. I think that's what some people are doing. It's just like an interesting new thing that you really, I think, respect and understand every different role along the way a lot more when suddenly you're your own stylist, hair and makeup, photographer, doing the lighting, all those things. You're like, oh my God.
But you yourself have already been preparing for this, because you've been preparing your body part of it and the mind part of it. And right now, in a critical time, it really the spiritual part of it, right? How do we keep the spirit activated so that our body and mind can all come together? So if you guys just join me, I am with Kate Bock, and we have revisited some of the shoots that we've done together, and we're going to jump into the subject of how she's been keeping herself in this high, amazing spirit during this difficult time that we're going through. So in terms of waking up every day, I'm following you, so I know you're working out. Your schedule's tough. You're working out sometimes twice a day, and then you're in the gym, and I love your workout partner, by the way. I love your workout partner. And I have a picture here. I want to show your workout partner. I love your workout partner. And we'll talk a little bit about him. Her or him? Is it him or her? Her. We'll talk a little bit about her in a second. So in terms of keeping your spirit activated, we can't not mention Kevin Love. So is he a big component of helping your spirit lifted throughout the day?
I think what is working really well for both of us is having something scheduled in the day. So if I'm like working out at 11, that's my time. Like we wake up and we have breakfast and we hang with the dog, or we take her on a walk. We have a workout. So you kind of have the first part of the day scheduled. So if I work out, I get my alone time. He does some meetings. He's actually in the gym now while I'm having a time with the internet upstairs. And we just kind of schedule in our day, and then we've been picking movies to watch every night. We've been on a real Brad Pitt tangent. We're going through every Brad Pitt movie we can find, and it's really fun kind of going through that, and we're listening to different podcasts. So we have episodes to follow together, so whenever we're just sitting together and we're listening or we're learning something, I think that really helps a lot.
Have you been listening to The Splendid Table on NPR?
No.
Okay, I remember you posted online recommendations. So Splendid Table is Francis Lam narrating and talking to chefs and interviewing chefs around the world. And I promise you it will change your perspective about food. Because talking about food and making food is very different. That he is my idol when it comes to food. Because we both have this passion about cooking. We've been talking about cooking together forever. Yeah. So we definitely have to make that happen. So amazingly that in this time we actually have the benefit of reshape our life in a way that we can spend more time with certain people. You're lucky enough that you're quarantined with somebody that you love and you guys get along. And
exactly, very lucky.
Very lucky to have that. But also, he's an athlete. So I would think that he understands your work ethic is very athletic. Like you work like a marathon runner. You know what you need to do. You get up, you train, and that's something that's so admirable. So people can emulate, and do you guys push each other, help each other to that continue to have that drive?
I definitely think that we both feel very lucky that throughout the year, no matter when it is, like he's really amping it up at the end of the summer to get into preseason or to get back to training with his team. But no matter what, whenever we travel, we're in a hotel, we always find one with the gym. We wake up when we're on vacation, first things first, have a coffee, go to the gym. We both work out and do our thing. We do our little stretch together, which is like a fun part of the workout. We both work out, and then we head down, and then we really enjoy an amazing breakfast, or we, try something cool or different, and we do an activity one day, or we just rest and relax one day because we're both tired. So I think having someone who we both enjoy food a lot, but we both are trying to find ways to kind of get a good balance of carbs and fats and proteins so that we feel the best in our bodies and for what we're working towards. Mine is more the way my body looks, and his is more the way his body is performing for his sport. But both of them are for how our bodies are for our job. So that's important to both of us. And we both, really try to eat clean and work out and enjoy. So we have a good balance, and we're both kind of on the same page, which is really, really nice.
Well, you guys have a lot of fun, and I know that, and I read somewhere that you had so much fun you actually end up in a hospital just recently.
Oh, God.
Can you share that with us a little bit?
Oh, my God. Very dramatic. So we like to do adventures, but we are definitely not the people that go to a hotel and then just sit or at the pool all day. We do it sometimes, but we like to go on adventures. So when we were in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, we booked going whitewater rafting, and it was like 32 people, let's say, that wanted to go. So we were all on this bus together. Everyone got shipped down to the water, and then there were 4 boats. We did not request to go solo. I don't know how this happened. They had called everyone into groups, and they were like, did you guys get a private boat? And we were like, nope, we did not get a private boat. And they're like, well, there's one left. If you guys want it, you can have it. And you're like, that sounds great. Let's take the private. Cool. So we go down the rapids. We're like, it's really relaxing. This is so nice. It's so cool. And our guide goes, okay, I just have to tell you this. There's one rapid. It's called the Big Kahuna. I just have to go through the safety. It's like, it's never going to happen. But in case we were to flip, I will throw you the life preserver. You'll grab it and I'll pull you back. But we've never flipped ever. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Never.
Later,
that's the word, never.
Never flipped in 32 years. 30 seconds later, we're going down the rapid. You do something where I forget what it's called, rocking, I think, rocking the boat. So you go forward and backwards because you're not heavy enough, so you can't get over the rapid. And we flipped over, hit each other in the head, and flew into the water. And the water was ice cold because you're going down mountain rapids that are frozen not long before. So I was flying down the river for 10 minutes because the thing wouldn't get to me, and he threw the preserver and it caught Kevin because he was taller so he could grab it, and they pulled him in, and I was just flying down, hoping for the best. And another person found me, and another boat pulled up and pulled my life jacket and pulled me in. And I had my baseball hat on still, and it was just, there was a lot of blood on it. So.
Wow. You gotta be scared. You gotta be really scared when that moment happened.
What I've learned about myself is I'm like the least scared of things. I'm just like not very nervous. I was like, well, I'm fine. And they're like, no, there's like a lot of blood. And I was like, I'll be cool. And Kev was like, maybe, I don't know. So, let's go to the hospital just real quick. The company was like, this has never happened in 32 years ever. So I had to get some staples in my head. Kev was like, I get those all the time. It's no big deal. So you're cool. I told like my cousins or my family, and they were like, are you serious? Like, that is a very big, you have staples in your head? And I was like, I don't know.
Well, thank God it didn't rip the hair follicle off that area that we have a bald spot, you know?
No, yeah, I could still shampoo it. It was, I had them out in 5 days. We were fine. Wow. But it was a very dramatic day.
Well, I don't know. I would be like, oh, it'll be fine if I was being thrown down the river. I'll be just...
I know. There was a minute when I was in the water and I was like, so they've rescued Kev. Like, now what's going to happen? Because the life preserver has been used. Like,
but you know what? What a bonding experience, though. So for 32 years, this never happened. You guys can experience it, at least together. So that's absolutely amazing. So I want to jump into about your spirit. How do you keep your spirit going? And I know that you love reading. You love audiobooks. So give us a recommendation of an audiobook that's great recommendation for our viewers.
So what I found is when I'm in Ohio, I drive a lot. Everything is kind of far apart. So what I really like doing in Ohio is listening to audiobooks while I'm driving. Also when I'm running. I know a lot of people think that's really weird. When I run, they need like a beat or something. I love listening to a story, and I find I run longer because I want to know what happens next. So those are my audiobook times when I'm on a beach or when I have time. I like to read a book. All the Light We Cannot See is that I'm listening to right now, so I'm not done yet, but it's really good so far. I just finished The Nightingale. It was also great. My next one is going to be Where the Crawdads Sing, so I'm excited about that one.
Lots of time spent with the audios. I love it. But don't forget to listen to the podcast I recommended as well.
Yeah.
So,
I'm into podcasts also.
So I'm going to jump right into a little bit of Q&A section that some of the questions had come in from DM from the other, just from the last couple of days of posting. So of course, everybody wants to know always the secret to the fountain of youth. What does Kate do to stay so flawless? What's the simple things that everybody at home, product that you cannot live without?
I feel like everyone wants me to say there's a magical pill. Like, everyone thinks that is a thing that exists. But what I've learned is that you can just drink so much water. Like, you think you drink a lot of water, you don't. You should drink, this is what I learned actually, it's your body weight in ounces is what you should drink. So that's a lot of water. Eat clean. Whenever, like, I absolutely splurge. I absolutely eat carbs and pasta and bread sometimes. I do notice that I'm more lethargic after if I've had something like that.
That sugar kicks in, you know. We gotta ride that sugar.
If you're eating a lot of packaged foods, you probably just don't feel as good, and your skin might not be as good, and your eyes might not be as clear. So unfortunately, it really is like eating clean foods and drinking a lot of water, and therefore you get better sleep.
And you're doing a lot of that. You're doing a lot of that on your Instagram and on your posts. So guys, you guys want to see clean food, easy recipes. Yeah. I got to say, I've been watching all your recipes. They're so easy to follow, and everybody can do them at home.
Yeah. That's what I've found, because I'm all about the 5, ingredient recipes, or like something you can make quick at home, because I know I'm just cooking for Kevin and I have a dog, but I can only imagine if you have 1, 2, 3, 5 kids or 5 people in your house that you're cooking for, or, that's going to take you forever to put a meal together. So the fewer the ingredients, the lighter and cleaner the meal, the easier it is to clean up.
I can learn that from you, because in Asian cooking, as you know, it's like 20 ingredients to make that fish sauce. There's so many choppings, and there's always ginger, there's always a green onion, there's always like star anise, and there's marination, and anyways, but yes,
prep work, but it is worth it.
I will challenge you, however, go to my website, street2kitchenasia.com, and pick out one of the recipes and please make something, and I would love to see how you approach Asian cuisine. And there are some recipes there that are a little bit easier. You know what? We'll do a recipe tray. I'll make something that you make, and then it'll be great. Well, other than that, your face is always glowing. And you have this energy of your body, spirit, and mind is always in this nice balance. How do you relax? What do you do?
I think even from when I first started modeling, when it was a lot harder and to be in communication with my family, I would have to I remember bundling up in all of the clothes that I had in layers. And
there she is.
right,
We got really heated with our discussion for some reason. You decided to cut us off. How rude.
Too much.
Too much. As you were saying.
What was I saying? Oh my God.
We're talking about clean cooking, eating, and we want to share recipes together. And so the process of every day, what about eating clean?
About eating clean. Yeah. I mean, right. So I'm just trying to put together some easier recipes that are fast to make at home, because even I'm getting kind of overwhelmed at night when it's what are we going to have for dinner again? And I made lunch and breakfast too every day, but it's only for 2 people and I shouldn't be complaining. So anyone who's dealing with any more than me, I totally understand, and let's make this easy.
So I remember the question I asked, and that is, how do you keep yourself warm and cozy and beautiful? You mentioned that you like to bundle up with all the clothes, and go ahead.
Oh, right. And I would bundle up in everything that I had to go outside, to use my calling card, to call Canada, and stay in touch with my family and friends. I think in our crazy industry, when we're traveling all over the world, but also in everyday life, and now when we're isolated, just staying in touch with the people that you love and the people that you know that love you and really care about you is so important. And I know Kevin's kind of reiterated the fact that right now, I think a lot of people feel lonely, but we need to be isolated, but we don't need to be lonely. We can totally be reaching out to the people that matter to us, and staying in touch and staying connected is so important, because you can really get down when I think you stay in your head and you don't talk to anyone and you isolate too much.
And that's exactly the point why Let's Talk actually started. What a great point that you made. I started this talk show because, as you know, I'm very energetic. I need to get the energy out, and I love talking about creative. And my hair and makeup friends, models, and editors are all trying to find a way to communicate. Not everybody feels comfortable getting on IG, so what I wanted to do is give opportunity to people, just come and talk to me. And since a lot of the guests that has been on have started their own IG, so I couldn't be more proud of them. They started their own IG live, and I followed them, because that's what our community needs, is positivity and incredible support. Well, one of the things I saw you posted on your Instagram, I'm going to pop it up. I want you to talk about this lovely product. What is this magic thing that you love so much?
So I feel like now that we're home, I've kind of had the opportunity to have my skincare routine at night has more steps than it's ever had. All my little routines, I've added everything I can to feel my best and really try to feel my healthiest. So this is a turmeric paste, and I've incorporated it into my nighttime routine. It's after dinner. I mix it with hot water and some steamed oat milk, and it makes a turmeric tea latte. And it's just, they say on it, it's a hug for your insides, and it just helps with digestion, and it helps turmeric with inflammation. So I really like that as something to go to bed with, and it can kind of reset you for the morning. Will
you post on Instagram how to make that for us, and we'll go ahead and link it to you? That would be amazing. And then there's one more thing that I know that completes all the spirit around you, and that is your passion in your dog and dog rescue. So share that with us.
I love my puppy so much, and she has made such a difference in my life in general, but also now especially. I'm so grateful to have her, and she brings so much joy and laughter to our every single day. And I know a lot of dog shelters are really suffering right now because they're not getting the regular adoptions they are, because no one can go in and help right now. So if you can foster or adopt a dog right now, there are so many rescues all over the place. Look up your local rescue, reach out. You can reach out to Canuco, and they can connect you with people. Dogs need rescuing or fostering, and everyone's home now, so you probably could do it, and I think it will bring you a lot of joy as much as it will help a dog.
And here's a couple of places that you guys can go online on Instagram, and Kay will also post on her Instagram and Instagram stories to share, because this is such an important thing for us to do. I have a little dog everybody knows. Her name is Soy the Frenchie, and she's 12 now, and I wanted to get another playmate for her, but because she's 12, she's at the stage where she just goes anywhere she wants to go. So my hands full right now. So I can't really adopt another dog for her. But it's still lovely and fun, and I love her so much. But truly, animal does bring in such amazing spirit for us. When we give them the love, they truly do give it all back. Well, Kate, thank you so much for everything that you have shared with us. It truly, you are the perfect balance of body, mind, and spirit in my eye. And then watching you grow up in front of my lens, it has been a kind of a honor. And on top of that, I can't thank you enough for your generosity of the donation of 1,450 plus masks that's going to go to first responder. And thank you, MJ Day, again, for making the connections in order for that to happen. So I will keep watching you, and we're going to be cooking together soon. And thank you so much. And stay healthy. And
Thank you for having me.
Tell Kevin I said hi, even though I don't know. I met him once. All I can do is this. I don't get starstruck. Truly, you know me. I don't get starstruck of models or whatever, but athletes, I don't think they're human. They're like gods to me. So congratulations to find somebody taller than you. I think that's very important.
I'm the tallest heels I want forevermore, and I'm good.
Well, enjoy your rest of the day. Have a bottle of wine. There's plenty behind you, and I'm so glad we got to be together today. And next time, when you see us, hopefully we'll be cooking something delicious together.
Oh, we will. We will.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And everyone out there, stay safe, stay strong, and keep on talking, connecting body, mind, and spirit from Kate.
Yeah.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.